Welcome back to Random University, guys, where I first would like to give a big shout out to all the new subscribers to the channel. We're over 850 subscribers now, so we're less than 150 clicks away from getting to our main goal, or at least immediate goal, of 1,000 subs and getting this channel monetized. So appreciate it to everybody else who's been reaching out to this channel and helping us get there to our initial goal. Also, big shout out to LTTV for allowing me to jump on his panel the other night. I'll leave a link in the description about the video that he had out there. It was just another video basically bashing these people on this side of YouTube. So if you like people getting clowned in the red pill and the manosphere, feel free to subscribe to his channel where he has a lot of great content. And once again, big shout out to him, Angela Knight, Tommy B, and many others on that channel. So yeah, thanks. I really appreciate it, you guys, and hopefully you enjoyed today's video as well. Also, a big shout out to Angry Man, or The Angry Man, whose channel is also here on YouTube. Feel free to subscribe to his channel. You may like his content, especially if you're a married man. If you're a married man, apparently you would really love his content because those men choose to follow him. But that's just me being funny. But either way, I do like Angry Man just as the guy. He seems to be a straight up person. He will come and at least talk to you. Won't be disrespectful, and you can have a conversation with him. Now, I know I had made a video about him caping up for Pearl in the past. Still stick behind that. And that's kind of why he was on the panel the other night. But just kind of wanted to throw that out there. I want to give a shout out to Angry Man. If you saw the video, I hope you're not offended. But either way, big shout out to you for being a man, at least standing up and having a conversation with us, even though we don't really feel like you were answering some of the questions. We can always debate again. Welcome back to Ran-DomU. It's go time.
Optimus, maximize!
Sometimes on YouTube, whenever, or hell, anywhere on the internet, where you start watching, a certain video, or you start clicking on certain content, or you're shopping for certain items, and then everything that you're looking for just completely changes overnight. Sort of like if you're watching a YouTube video and say you pass out like a video later after you click on the first one, and next thing you know, your entire algorithm changed by at least a third, and a third of your content is now featuring this weird stuff that you just happen to click on one video of. But that happened to me recently, and I happened to stumble upon a video that was called "I'm 25 and I have 0 friends." Well, unfortunately, it sent me down the rabbit hole of seeing a few of these types of videos, which are quite depressing and quite life-eating. Well, I decided to go ahead and do a reaction type of video and just kind of respond to this one guy's video and just see what y'all think about this situation.
So, it's your boy. Let him know Zoe.
Now, one thing that I noticed, even though you can't see it because I had the full screen clip on the screen, so you can't actually see in the bottom left corner where it says subscribers, and he has around 19,000 subscribers, which I'm assuming he got most of that from this video because it has around 1 million views. Well, either way, I noticed that and I was like, man, this guy spent probably about 2 cents on this set. So he's already winning to start. He's already got a lot of subs, could be monetized, and I don't know if he is or not because the material, but nonetheless, the set is cheap. But I really don't need to be mean here because the video is already titled "I'm 25 and I have 0 friends," so I don't want to be another person piling on in case he was bullied or anything like that. So let me slow down. I don't want to be a douchebag here.
Back with another video. As you can see by the title, which I think is pretty self-explanatory, I am 25 and I have no friends. Now, I think that as we all age and we all grow up and we have different things going on in life, I do feel that to some degree it's natural for people to grow apart. But I don't really think it's normal for people to kind of feel like they don't have any friends at all.
First off, I'm going to say it is pretty normal at that point in time to feel like if you don't have friends at 25, it is possible that you can get lonely at some point in time, especially if your friends move on, they start getting married, having kids, etc. After you graduate high school, maybe you don't move on, or maybe they don't move on, or something like that. That's the only thing I can really compare it to. But the tempo of which he speaks here is the duration of his whole video. So for the sake of y'all, I'm going to go ahead and probably speed his talking up some.
Personally, throughout my life up to this point, I've definitely had many friendships. Many people I've been cool with, close with, who we shared common interests and goals and different things like that. But over the years, it just seems like they all kind of like gradually just like fell away from me, or like we grew apart or whatever. But yeah, I definitely had a lot of people who I've been close with since like elementary school through middle school, high school, college. Yeah. So high school, I was having a little bit of difficulty making some friends because I was kind of quiet through my early teen years, and basically before that too, honestly. So when I started high school, I started at a new school in ninth grade. I had actually made it a point to kind of come out of my shell and make an attempt to get closer to people, make more friends, make new friends, try not to depend so much on the people I already knew, because some of them were also there at the high school that I was starting to attend.
Now, look, personally, I feel like this is where a lot of people make mistakes in life. When they start getting towards high school and they decide, I want to switch up. I want to try to, change who I am, switch up this persona. I want to go outside the box. I want to start talking a little bit more. I'm going to start trying to speak to women and do these things that I've never really done before and I really don't have skills at. Now, I do applaud the effort because you do have to, at some point in time, just step up and go do these things if you're going to ever improve at it. Like, if you're going to talk to women, at some point in time, you're going to go out there and just have to get rejected so you'll know what to do and what not to do going forward. Only problem is some people don't really go back and watch the film, so to speak, and go back and deep dive and do some retrospective thinking and figuring out exactly where they might have went wrong in certain situations. So like how they're trying to gain friends. Are they trying to be too cool? Or are they trying to impress them with things that don't matter to anyone or things like that? So doing this in high school, it's hard to switch up and change around people that you've already known. Like if you already have some people who have already grown up with you, it's kind of hard to switch up your image around people that you've already known because they're going to obviously see that you changed and try to do it for some probably odd reason.
Since I finished high school, well, actually, no. I finished high school. I still had a good number of friends. Some friends from high school, some friends in the college I was attending at the time. Yeah, so I actually did have a few friends that I didn't expect to have after high school as well. There were some people, one person in particular, who I was friends with in a program that we went to that was actually through BOCES. So it wasn't specifically through our high schools, but it was through BOCES. And we met in 12th grade, and we actually were friends for some years after that. But just due to circumstances that made me uncomfortable based on the things that they would say and my background, I was just very uncomfortable at the way that I was beginning to feel each time I came into the presence of this person, and also any kind of mutual friends we had, but more like through him. Like, we had friends, like he and I were friends, and then he would bring around other people he's friends with, and I would meet them and we would talk and kick it, whatever.
Now, look, we all developed some friends at the end of high school that we probably weren't to be our friends at some point in time earlier in that experience where you're like, I don't know when you exactly joined the team here, just like the DBZ fighters. I don't know when you joined the force here or joined the Power Rangers, but either way, you're here now. So I guess, we'll fit you in, so that's what pretty much happens in some friendships. At least, I went through that experience, but most of these people aren't close people to keep around in case things get weird. And it sounds like this situation started to get weird. And for me, I'm like, you can cut ties with this person. There shouldn't be anything that's deep down holding you down to this individual. They joined the group late. You can kill this person off pretty quickly in a movie. You know how like in a mini series or a TV series or hell, even a movie sometimes, well, not movies, but either way, they'll have people that will guest star into TV shows and they'll just get killed off in the episode because they didn't have anything to do with the original story. They were just introduced to add some spice into the episode. That's what this type of friend is. You can get rid of this person.
But honestly, I just couldn't. After a while, I couldn't bring myself to like stick around in a situation that was making me so emotionally uncomfortable. And I don't mean like he was like playing with my feelings or anything like that. It's just like the type of things that they would say sometimes just really, really made me uncomfortable. And honestly, if I'm being specific, one thing that really led me to break away from being friends with that person was their frequent use of the N-word, which made me very, very uncomfortable because I am African American, I am Black, so I strongly feel a connection with that word, as negative as it may be. But history is history. You can't change what happened. You can't change the history that's connected to the N-word. And so when somebody is using it so freely around me, especially somebody who is not Black, I can't bring myself to stay around them. It's just too much for me.
I completely agree with his assessment over this situation right now as far as I can't stand for these types of situations. But why do I have this weird feeling that it took him an incredibly long amount of time to come to this conclusion and also explain this situation to this individual, if he even really did? Now remember, I have his video on 1.5 times speed, so he's speaking faster than when it was actually going in reality. So I have this feeling that him trying to explain the situation was really slow. Sort of like this. Like, bruh, man, you know what I mean? Like, when you use that word, bruh, it's, it kind of, it like hurts, like my feelings, bruh. You know what I'm saying? I just, you know what I'm saying?
And I'm sure some of you are probably going to ask, well, if hearing somebody say that word makes you uncomfortable, why wouldn't you just tell them? And to that, my answer is, if you're friends with somebody and they know that you have personal feelings on a specific topic, but they keep on taking that specific topic and making light of it, how can you call yourself a friend of that person when you know that you are constantly and blatantly kind of picking on something that's like sensitive? Like,
not trying to be too nitpicky here, but to be nitpicky, I got a feeling I can see where he went wrong here. This guy answered his own question with a question. Now, for me personally, that's a huge pet peeve, answering questions with questions. He couldn't even answer his own question with a yes or no. I mean, and this seems like a pretty yes or no, pretty easy one to answer, pretty slam dunkish.
You can't call yourself a friend of a black person and constantly be throwing the N-word around so lightly as if everything is cool, especially not when you're black. I mean, when you are black, it is kind of different saying that word, but when you're not black, that is something that you really need to just keep off limits, because it does not really matter who says you can say it and who says you can't. The bottom line is, if you're not black and you say that word, it's just a bad look. So that was one friend that I really could not continue to hang with, because their frequent use of that word just made me super duper uncomfortable. And just the thought of having to have a conversation about it just kind of made me think to myself, like, wow, like, you call yourself my friend, but I need to tell you to not say this thing that makes me uncomfortable, and you're saying it like every time I see you. It's like,
now, based on the slight shift in his tone, if you can even tell the slight shift in his tone at this point, is more in his mannerisms when it comes to this event. I'm guessing that he was around this person to hear him say the N-word quite a bit. So it seems like it was probably on a numerous time basis. And if it's been that often, I mean, you really should have jumped ship after like the second occurrence of this happening. Like the first time, look, man, at this point in time in reality, I'm willing to give everybody like, look, man, hey, you got one time, I'm going to give you the pass here just because maybe you just been around some people, been accepting that. But okay, not here. So that's fine. Next time, we're done.
No, like you're not my friend. Like that just kind of made me start feeling like a token almost, because it's like you're hanging with me, and every time you come around me, I hear this word out your mouth. And I feel like to some degree, I must have said something at some point in the past where it's like, bro, like, come on, like, you can't be saying that. That's not cool. Like, do you see me? Like, do you know who I am, who my people are, what we've been through? And you're making light of that word. That's not cool.
Yeah, he was definitely taking this shit for a while.
So, yeah, needless to say, me and that friend fell out. The last time we actually chilled was about a year ago. And it was fun, but there were moments where I was just like, bro, like, I honestly can't believe, like, I really even need to say this to you. Like,
he hung out with this man again. He's still hanging out with this guy. Like just a year ago, dude, this recently. And he just said he has no friends. Apparently, he really considers this guy a close friend because he's still hanging out with this guy, going to concerts with him, probably doing drugs with him. Who knows? Having a good time, apparently. But it's like, what happened? I thought you had stances on this. This dude doesn't stand for anything. This is why he probably doesn't have friends.
It's sad, honestly.
You're right. You are absolutely right. This is sad. It is real sad that you are still hanging out with this individual.
Another person that I've been cool with for a very long time, I recently kind of started to fall off with, which really hurt me because we were friends for a very long time.
Now, because he speaks his story so slow, I'm going to save you the pain of listening to him talk about his next friend, which his next friend was somebody that he knew from 5th grade. And then, he used to meet him up in high school, used to dap him up around first period, used to say, hey, man, we might hang out, later today, we might not, just because I'm too busy hanging out with my racist friend who I can't seem to stop getting him to say the N-word. And I just keep hanging around him because I can't seem to get away from him. Well, either way, I mean, it sounds like a psychopath now that I think about it, but nonetheless, moved on. I guess they weren't really that close in high school either, but he viewed him as a close friend. Well, that ended, and I guess he's come to the realization that their lives have moved apart. And it sounded like it moved apart back in high school because the only thing you used to do was dap up and then go hang out with your racist friend. So if that was what you were doing, I don't see how this hurt you so bad, because he did say that this hurt him deeply. And I'm like, that just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. But oh well, that was his story. And the rest of this is just a little bit more of him talking about some more friends that he lost in touch with. But let me, get to it. Now, after this, he also explained about another friend that he lost touch with based on the fact that after high school, things just fell apart.
At this particular friend, I never really had any like issues with them. It's just kind of the same deal, I guess. It's like after high school, like we kind of just like slowed down our relationship, and it was kind of weird because we were so close to each other.
Now, normally I don't like to give advice, but this is my mom's advice, and it's advice that she gave me back when I was in high school. And what she simply told me was this: high school is 4 years of your life. That's it. Pretty much when high school's over, guys, that's a wrap. I mean, move on. I mean, those friends that you had, more than likely you're going to grow apart. Some of them are going to get married. Some are going to have kids. Some are going to go to college. Most of them are going to go to places that you're no longer going to be going to. So quite frankly, you will grow apart. And then as you grow and really mature as an adult, which is after the age of 18, which all these weird manosphere red pill people are so obsessed with virgins and 18-year-olds. I just don't get it. But either way, it's like that's when you really mature, and that's when you actually grow to get your real friends. So this around 25 age where he is now, this is where you're going to develop and find your real long-lasting friends. But the problem is, I think you're still trying to hold on to these days in high school, which are meaningless. They're done. They're burning out tires in the parking lot, wiping people out and running them over. That's done now. Going to the big game and all that stuff and trying to get this girl for prom and all these stuff that it seemed like it was the biggest thing in the world is meaningless. It's meaningless now. I mean, hold on, cherish those moments, but this stuff doesn't mean anything long term. It doesn't. Just simply enjoy the moments that you have now, continue to grow, and try to get something done going forward. But he's going to start talking about relationships here, and that's where this video starts making a quick turn. I want to do a quick wrap on it, and then we're going to wrap up this video. Right quickly, I'm not trying to write off the fact that you can't have high school friends or friends that you have beforehand actually mean, go on to be long-term relationships. Because quite frankly, I mean, my best friend is still my best friend from 8th grade. So, I mean, I can't really say much when it comes to that, but I can't say the accumulation of all the friends that I had from all the schools I went to, I'm still in heavy touch with. I'm not. I mean, I touch base with a few people, but that's it.
But anyway, friends of the opposite sex are something that I feel like it can be possible, but it's very risky because, depending on the depth of your relationship, things get involved, feelings, and, you do different things and you have different experiences with somebody, and it can just greatly affect your emotions toward them. But, yeah, so my personal experience, I've had plenty of female friends, obviously, and it wasn't all situations where, like, I was just kind of, like, talking with them because I wanted to, like, be with them or, like, get with them or something like that. Like, no, we were, like, genuinely, like, cool. Like, sex was the last thing on my mind in most cases for a lot of them. So, I mean, of course, like, some of them, like, you're attracted and you want to do some things, but it doesn't always have to, like, turn into that.
Personally, I believe he said a very mature thing here. I think he went on to say and state some things that are very ridiculous in the red pill, where they don't think you can have friends at all of the opposite sex. Being a man and a woman, completely different. We're wired different. We just have different neurons and all this other stupid shit and all that. So we can't actually be friends like you're talking about. What you're talking about is utter blasphemy. It's heresy. It's all the bad things that exist. So quite frankly, I agree, but others will say that you're talking lunacy here. But I think it's possible because it all depends on expectations. If you have the right expectations with the individuals that's there, like there's always a person in these relationships that technically have leverage. Unfortunately, it's the person who's probably the better looking one, or the person who is less eager to get things on. It's the person who's more than likely willing to put the other person in the friend zone. The person who's more than likely willing to put the other one in the friend zone is the person who's at advantage here, because the other person is the one who's like, I kind of want to like get in there and like, make a relationship out of this, when the other person's like, hey, I kind of like the fact that we're cool. I can actually get along with you, get advice, get recommendations from you, and we can actually enjoy each other's banter and each other's company. And it doesn't have to be anything extra. It can actually be like you're just one of the boys, you know what I'm saying? But it doesn't have to be weird. And that's not something that everybody believes is actually possible. I've seen it, I've lived it, so I know it's possible. But you do have to have fair expectations. If you don't have those, and if you don't establish those lines at some point in time, it will crumble and it's going to fall apart. So if you don't do that, it's not possible. But I definitely believe it is possible, but it is hard and requires a lot of self-restraint and a lot of discipline.
Even the girls too that I was friends with, a lot of them I really don't talk to today, and I wasn't like super duper close with them to the point where it like hurts like really, really bad. But like nobody's happy to lose friends. I mean, there was a point in time where we were all like this, and now like you text them, you'll be lucky if they reply within an hour. It's like things change, people branch out.
Okay, at 25, that texting within an hour shit, you're gonna have to get over that part. Like that's just gonna have to die down. You're going to start realizing most of your friends or people that you know that's probably moved on from high school that you haven't, that's moved on to probably go to college, graduate, have good jobs, or do whatever, or at least get started on some type of career, whether they want to be a pretend entrepreneur or a scammer or a professional astronaut, whatever it takes. But either way, I'm just saying you're going to dial down on those expectations, because heck, at 33, you're lucky if your friends will respond back to you within a week. You know what I'm saying? So nonetheless, 1 hour. I mean, you'll be lucky back if you get a response back in, well, maybe 1 year with some, because you don't reach out to them that often. So it's just one of those things, man. I'm just saying you might want to dial back on those expectations quite a bit.
And yeah, I can't really be mad. It's just honestly the way life goes, to be honest. So right now, today, in this moment, do I have friends? It's kind of complicated because I have people I'm cool with, but this kind of goes back to the question I asked before. Can guys and girls really be genuine friends and that's it? So
Nope. Don't try to change the narrative now. The name of this video, the name of your video is I am 25 and I have no friends. If that's the name of the video, that's what this is about. So don't try to change it to some man and woman type of thing now. That whole dynamic for you, I think you're going to have to get that figured out. But quite frankly, man, I think he's in a decent headspace. Unlike some of the people who have these videos that are put out there, they're in not a good spot. They don't have friends, they ain't got family, they ain't got nothing. At least it seems like you do have friends, or at least people that you can seek out friendship with. I suggest going out there and get you some hobbies, whether you play ball or not. But I have this weird feeling you really don't play ball, even though you're dressed like one. I don't know if you hoop. Maybe you do. If you do, go out there and seek some friendship there. It's not weird to ask people to go out and, go hang out and go get some drinks or go watch a movie or stuff like that. You don't have to go bang them. It just means you want to go out and just maybe go holler at some chicks. That's all you got to do is go out there and have a good time. Reach out. Seek friendship. You need to find some people that seem to be better for your peer group than the ones you already have. Because you seem to find racist friends, friends that's moved on, people who don't care about you. You need to find some people who relate to you a little bit better. That's my advice for you right now. But don't try to switch this up and make this some type of man-woman thing. That's not what this is about. This is about you getting some friends. Unlike those other people in them other videos, boy, those are some depressing videos. And I will be getting to those eventually. So hopefully you enjoyed this content today. So please like, share, and subscribe to this channel. Thank you for watching another episode of Ran-DomU. And in this department, we're going to come out with some more videos. So if you like this video, I'll make another one. So I'll see you soon.